Hello, I'm going to make another video on this subject. Honestly, I feel like I'm in the fight of my life here trying to get out of this town, Westbury. This village of Westbury is just struggling. And look, I'd love to see this town succeed, but it's not succeeding. And in this video, I'll show you today, on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, what downtown Westbury is like, and it's not very pleasant. And I'm also going to show you some of the new buildings that are mostly completely empty, including condo building. That's actually a new condo building. It's been open for a year now. I think they finished it over a year ago, and it's empty. It does not appear that there's anyone in there. But before I do that, I just want to address a certain individual who doesn't even deserve to be addressed, and he's not going to be named, but my subs know who he is. You'll notice that in my video about mental illness, you'll notice the part that the harassing phone calls were in. I had to remove that because he gave me a privacy complaint. That's right, I got a privacy complaint today from him. And it says, case subject, YouTube, from the YouTube support team, and it says, Dear Pine Power LI, this is to notify that we have received a privacy complaint from an individual regarding your content. It points to the video about mental illness as a disability, and it says the information reported as violating privacy is at 11 minutes and 24 seconds to 13 minutes and 11 seconds, which is where the harassing phone calls were. So I had to remove it. I didn't want to have it get in any trouble with YouTube. It's ridiculous. It gives me 48 hours, so it's already done. This guy has more rights than I do. Meanwhile, he can go and harass people and create new accounts. Nothing ever happens. It's just like New York State. But anyway, I figured I just wanted to share that with you. But first, before I get to the video today in Westbury, I want to read to you this other article about what happened with the gangs here. It was actually a much better report. It was from CBS, WCBS TV in New York, and it says here that this is what happened last Sunday. 3 MS-13 gang members arrested on attempted murder charges. Police in New York say 3 members of the MS-13 gang have been charged with attempted murder. Nassau County Police say Wednesday that the victim was slashed with a machete and shot at on a Sunday in Westbury on Long Island. I called the police after I heard 4 gunshots. It sounded like gunshots, said a neighbor. I called the police after I heard 4 gunshots. It sounded like gunshots, Barbara Calabro told CBS 2's Emily Smith. Nassau police said Calabro was right. They found several bullet casings on the street. Detectives alleged the trio fired the weapon near a 19-year-old man who was standing in front of his home after first slashing him in the stomach with a machete. Police said the attack began after one gang member asked, "Why are you laughing?" and the victim responded, "I can laugh at anything I want." Jose Hernandez, Miguel Urias Arguenta, and Fidel Hernandez are all charged with attempted murder. Jose and Fidel Hernandez also face weapon charges. They were all born in El Salvador and are allegedly in the country illegally. All 3 have demonstrated that they are extremely dangerous people, said Nassau County Police Chief Kevin Smith. We would encourage anyone else who has been victimized or is afraid of these people, may be afraid to report it, to come forward and contact the police. Detectives charge that Jose Fernandez and his brother Fidel are also responsible for a January machete attack on nearby Kinkle Street that left a 19-year-old man with severe facial wounds. The violence erupted near 20 miles from Brentwood in Central Islip, where MS-13 has been linked to 11 corpses found there in the last 6 months. The attacks have rattled residents, and a former New York City who now counsels students against gang life in several Long Island schools said he's not surprised. I have a program in Westbury, and some of the kids who are in my program have been intimidated by MS-13, he said. One Westbury teen, who CBS 2 declined to identify, said he's run into trouble with the gang. They think this is their country and their area, and they don't like when someone looks at them ugly, he said. It's bad because people are scared of them. The bloodshed has gotten the attention of Republican President Donald Trump, who has called it the result of lax immigration policies. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions vowed to demolish MS-13 in a speech on Friday. Federal prosecutors believe MS-13 has thousands of members across the U.S., primarily immigrants from Central America. So this article is a better article than the one I read to you before, because it really it gives you the feeling and the fear that people have to live in here in my town and other towns on Long Island. from these gangs of illegals. And I've been talking about this for a long time in Westbury. I mean, this is nothing new. It just hasn't made the news. I mean, we've had ongoing issues for the past 5 or 6 years with MS-13 gang tags popping up in the town, other gang tags popping up in the town, and it never got much attention from the media. Finally, something happens where it gets some attention from the media. People are living in fear here. The village hall is asleep at the wheel. They don't think the problem is serious. As I explained to you before, the mayor, he doesn't have to actually live on this side of town. He lives on the rich side of town. I've explained that to you a million times. And I think that's part of the reason why he isn't taking these problems seriously. This attack, of course, happened right near Village Hall. Dover Street is right by Village Hall, if you look at a map. It's literally like 1 minute from Village Hall. All right, so Village Hall is located, I mean, the area around Village Hall is full of illegal rentals. So now I want to show you what I saw today here in Westbury. You'll see me walk around that year-old building. It's called Newton. I think it's Newton condominiums or whatever. These are condominiums. They're expensive. Nobody's going to pay those kind of prices to live in this shithole of a town. You'll see some beat-up cars around, and yeah, man, you just heard one. So let's get to it. All right, I want to show you something here. This is a mostly abandoned, empty, vacant condo building. There used to be a little sign there that is now down, and it says models now open. This is all empty. You might even be able to walk right through here. Yeah, we can walk right through. We can walk right through to the other side. Most of these units are empty. There's nobody living in them. It's all empty. There's nobody living here. This has been completed over a year ago here in Westbury, and nobody's moved in. I wonder why. Got this beautiful new building here, but there's nobody living in it. What a shame. You got illegals here. People don't want to live in a town with illegals. These are all empty. I'll show you. This is the space right here. And take a look. They got gang tags. They never erased them. On the side of the building there. Another one. Never erased them. There's nobody living in these units. They're empty. In this place, this is the third thing they've tried. This will work. That'll work. This is the only thing that does well around here. Bodegas. Another bodega is coming in. Another bodega. Yeah. Just to prove to you these units are empty, I'm going to zoom in. You should be able to see the other side. You can't, but they are. You can. Why isn't the camera picking it up? You can see the other side. Yeah, you see the other side of the... That should work better now. You should be able to see the other side is empty, and there's no drapes or shades or anything in any of the windows of this building. Completely empty. This is not America. Another view of this building. You can see that there's no one living in it. It's completely empty. This thing is empty. This is not what a revitalization looks like. Another bodega over there. not like we have a shortage of bodegas or anything. We have like 6 of them. We need more. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. There's no one walking around here. It's empty. This is where they hang out. This area over here. They're not hanging out because they're all landscaping, probably. They'll be out later. And look at this sidewalk, too. Look at this disgusting sidewalk. Sidewalk looks terrible. Nobody. Where is everybody? There is no one. Even during the day, it's a ghost town. There aren't many people. I mean, look at the new kinds of businesses that are coming here. These aren't going to be places that are going to gear to young professionals or the mainstream. Another bodega. Look at how dirty and gritty these sidewalks are. And here we are. This building is like 2 years old, and the bottom is empty. It's empty. There's nobody renting it. It's been like this for almost 2 years now. When did they complete this? It's been like this for 2 years. There's nobody moving into this building. In other places like Farmingdale, new buildings go up. I mean, this is a joke. Revitalization, there is no revitalization. There is no revitalization. We'll lease. Yeah, they're trying. They've been trying to lease this since they built it. But another bodega. People don't want to live around this. People don't want to do business around this. Another one. This has been empty for ages too. Horrible. Another bodega. They hang out. They hang out in there. Let's go. We got the green light. This building has a number of empties too, but it's got a few more people because it's right by the train station, so people don't have to walk through this godforsaken town. And this train station used to be busy. On weekends, I noticed the ridership is going down off peak. There's not as many people here as there used to be. People are moving out. There just aren't many people. You look at the parking lot, the train station parking lot, it's not even half full. Here's a better look at the parking lot. There's not many people in it. Not many cars. And look at how just run down it looks. I remember when these platforms were packed. I mean, there are a few more people here. A few more people here, but not too many. A few more. This is the liveliest place in town because people want to get out. I've noticed that people wind up getting here much sooner. I mean, they wait till the last minute. They used to come see people coming now, like the last couple of minutes before the train comes because they don't want to be here. All this appears to be vacant as well. That, and that as well. This place is out of business, by the way. Alexis and Gianni. They've been here for many years. They finally went out of business. And enough of this neighborhood. Yep, that's a gang tag right there, you see on the lower left there. They tried to gray out, and actually it's an MS-13 gang tag. You see the number 13 right there. So, and this is looking into Newcastle here, like a third world country. This is horrible, horrible. It's a shame that this town just can't turn around. I would love nothing more than to see this town turn around, but it just keeps getting worse. Nobody's coming. Yeah, so the video ends at the train station, and the train station is not as busy as it used to be. However, it seemed like we did get more people, but they come right before the train comes. You'll also notice the parking lot wasn't that busy. So I want you to contrast this to what I saw at Belmore later. And Belmore was busy, it was happening, it was happy. So take a look at this. So look at how many more cars are in this parking lot here. It's full. Coming into Belmore now. Yeah, so you'll see that it was nice. Cars around, plenty of cars in the parking lot there for that train station, but not ours. That's for two reasons, because people don't want to come to Westbury because of the issues here, and two, the train service is better in Belmore. But I think it has more to do with the issues in this town. Other people don't want to come here. This is a dead town. This is a dead town, and it's deader than ever. People are leaving. The mayor is drinking. He wants us to drink the Kool-Aid and think everything is wonderful when it's not, and it's stuck being trapped here. So I've discovered something else. Now I really need to move out of this town. It is getting so bad. This latest thing, I mean, it's really, I really do see this becoming the next Hempstead. I really do see it becoming the next Hempstead. You saw on my walk there, another bodega is opening. These are the only kind of places that open up in Westbury. Where that bodega is opening, that opened initially as an Asian fusion place called Harmony Fusion. And it opened at the same time the Space opened, and that, along with the His and Hers bar, they all opened up around the same time. And it was supposed to bring a more, mainstream element to Westbury, a more trendy element to Westbury. But what happened was the Harmony Fusion failed because the Space didn't have enough shows to bring in people, and the other place, the His and Hers, they couldn't get people. It got sold, and now it's kind of like a Love Jones kind of place. If you know Love Jones and Baldwin, that's the kind of place it's turned into. Not the kind of place that's going to be gearing to the mainstream. So you have all these places, and then you got another bodega, and we don't have anything that's gearing to mainstream opening up in Westbury. You go to Farmingdale, they got places that bring in people, like the Meatball Place. They got all these bars, craft beers. This brings in young people. This brings in, yes, it brings in some rich people, but we need to bring in some rich people for the town to succeed. But the problem is we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because these places don't want to open because we don't have the foot traffic, but we need them to bring the foot traffic. So it's kind of a rock and a hard place situation. So as far as my situation goes, I actually almost found an apartment, and then I got to share this with you because this is ridiculous. So I was looking at apartments, and there's an income requirement now. There's a lot of landlords doing this now. They actually have an income requirement, and on this particular listing, it required me to earn $56,000 a year. Otherwise, they will not. I immediately sent a message saying, that's discrimination. It shouldn't matter as long as somebody can pay the rent. I understand you need some type of, they need to prove that you can pay the rent. But I'm in a program. It's guaranteed income for these landlords. This is what they don't understand. They discriminate against me, but they don't understand that it's guaranteed income. Once they sign a lease with my program, they know they're going to get that rent every month. All right? They know that rent is going to come in on time every single month. But they want to discriminate against us. It just makes me irate. Why should I be stuck having to fear for my life in a town that's getting more and more dangerous, more and more run down, and I'm not able to obtain a safe apartment in I have 10 towns I told you about, 10 towns that I'm willing to look in, all right? And now I'm taking another step to actually contact a lot of listings, even if the rent is above the fair market rate, and tell them my situation. I have to plead my case. I literally have to get on my hands and knees and beg to live somewhere safe here on Long Island. And if I can't, then I have to look and see, and I've already made some initial inquiries to see if similar programs are available elsewhere, such as New Jersey. I hate to leave Long Island. I've spent my whole life here. I love Long Island. There's so many nice places to live on Long Island. Long Island is not a complete hellhole. It's just certain areas of Long Island are hellholes. And what's going on is those areas are getting worse, and the areas that are decent are becoming more and more expensive. More and more rich people are moving in, and there's no place for people in programs. There's no place for seniors. There's no place for the disabled. There's no place for the working class. They're priced out. And, I don't think this is very fair. I know one of my subscribers made a comment recently about, or I don't know if he was a subscriber or not, but he made a comment about, well, it's just the way it is, the rich people, they only want to live with their, they don't want to rent. I'm going to read to you what he wrote, actually. Let's do that, because I'm sitting in front of the computer. There's no reason to try to remember what he wrote. Let's just read it to you. Let's see what he said here. Yeah, he said, it's all about the money. I wish I could afford a BMW car, but I am poor. Therefore, that's why I have to have a used Toyota. The same goes with safe, high-class, rich places. If you can't afford their asking price, then you have to settle for a cheap apartment in a dangerous neighborhood. No, it shouldn't be that way, man, all right? Let me explain something to you, all right? Those places that were safe were not high-class places. These rich people came in and they took a lot of them over and turned them into high-class places. And the problem is they keep building these apartments everywhere. In Farmingdale, they're building so many new apartments. In Mineola, they're building these apartments. And none of them are for people like me. New Jersey has a law that requires 30% of all housing to be affordable. But we don't have such a law. So this guy, he does sympathize with me. I'm not on the attack against him. But what's going on is not legal. It's not fair. Nobody seems to want to get together and fight this and just accept this. I'm not going to accept this. I don't want to have to live every single day of my life in fear of this. All right? I'm sick and tired of it. I have a right to live somewhere safe, somewhere I have access to transportation. It shouldn't be considered a luxury. It should not be considered a luxury. And you know what? If it is considered a luxury on Long Island, well, then I guess I have to leave Long Island. Because I can't honestly put up with this for much longer. Trump, I was really hoping when Trump got in, and I'll say it over and over again, this is like beating a dead horse, but I was really hoping when he got in, he would wind up having mass deportations. All right, and that's not happening. He's not deporting them in mass like I thought he would. They need to come through here in this town and do a sweep. They were everywhere. The police, here's the thing, the police have a right to stop you if you are suspected of being involved in a crime. And if you are suspected of being an illegal immigrant, the police have the right to stop you and determine your immigration status. And if you're not here legally, then it's adios. But the police here, because this is a sanctuary area, Nassau County denies that they're a sanctuary county. The village of Westbury is a sanctuary. Officially, it's on the sanctuary list. But New York State is becoming a sanctuary state because our governor wants to open the door and say all immigrants are welcome. And yes, all immigrants are welcome. I love immigrants, but I don't like illegal immigrants. The problem with people like Cuomo and these Democrats, they don't differentiate between legal immigrants who come here legally and want to become Americans. They don't differentiate between that and these freaking illegals that come in here and just take over. Like that article I just read you. They own this town. They own it. They own this town. They walk around like they own it because they do own it. And nothing's done about it. And meanwhile, I have people telling me to just deal with it. You don't deserve to actually live in a safe area. No, sorry, you have to be rich to be safe. No. Long Island was not like that when I was growing up. Long Island wasn't even like that 10 years ago. It wasn't even like that 5 years ago. But it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And look, and as far as these landlords who want to discriminate against me, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't smoke. I'm quiet. I'm probably quieter than the average single male, all right? Yet, They don't want me. They don't want me because he's in a program. He's disabled. We can't have that. Even though it's guaranteed income, stable income, no, we can't have that. Sorry. We can't have that. No. We have to rent to only white-collar professionals, and that's it. That's why we have the income limit. That should be illegal, and it is in many states, but it's not in New York, which I find pretty ridiculous, considering how progressive this state is. I find it absolutely ridiculous. So I'm under a lot of stress here, fearing for my life, all right? Fearing for what's going on, and at the same time, I have to speak up. Some people say, well, you should just be quiet. I can't be quiet when I'm going through all this crap. I have to vent. I have to let people know what's going on, because people need to speak up, all right? There are other mentally ill people, many other, I'm sure, on Long Island that are in similar situations. They're not speaking up, and they need to speak up, because if we all got together and we spoke up and we could get a lawyer involved, we could file a class action lawsuit and maybe even go to Albany and draft a law forcing all new apartments 30%, like New Jersey has, to be affordable. We could do that here, but we're not doing that. We're not getting together and doing anything. So, it's just like with the buses. Nobody wants to get involved and fix the whole thing with Nice Bus. And let me tell you, the bus system, it's like a ghetto on wheels. I'm telling you, Hempstead Transit Center has been in such neglect. There are people passed out there. It's literally a hellhole. It's so bad. Let me tell you something. There was a time when people would say, oh, 165th Street Bus Terminal, it's a bad place. No. I'd much rather wait for a bus there than Hempstead Transit Center any day. Because since the MTA left, now there's no security there. People just do whatever they want. It's just a vagrant central area, They're all over the place over there. And then you got riding Nice Bus and having to deal with all the problems that occur on Nice Bus, drunks, people yelling around and all that other stuff.
It's too late.
And that's what my bus ride is like a lot now on the N35. It never used to be like that when MTA was here. It seems like the kind of class of people that take the buses definitely changed since MTA left. It's just become a ghetto on wheels, And I'll say it again, and I've probably beat this dead horse so many times, but I'm not a racist. All right, people will say he's racist. I'm not. I just expect people to have a certain sense of behavior when they're out in public. All right, and if you're out there acting like a thug, acting like a hoodlum, joining gangs, causing problems, committing crimes, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with people like that because they make me scared. They make me feel uncomfortable. And I have my anxiety disorder, and being around this stuff is making it that much worse. How the hell am I supposed to get better when I'm forced to be around this stuff day after day after day? I'm not looking to be on Rodeo Drive. I just want to be around people who actually act like human beings. The people in this town, a lot of them, they act like zombies. They stagger around like zombies all the time. Right? That's the way it's becoming. It's like any Long Island ghetto, Hempstead, whatever. That's the future of Westbury. And it's a shame because there's so many good plans, so many good ideas, but they're just going to go to waste as long as we can't clean this problem up. And, maybe it's bigger than the mayor. All right? Maybe I'm being too hard on him. It's probably bigger than the mayor because I told you they're steered here. They're steered here. This is a designated dumping ground for society's misfits, this town. Just like Hempstead, just like Freeport, just like Roosevelt. They're zoning out Long Island into two different areas where you put the society's misfits and where you put the rich white-collar professionals. There's no room in between. There's no middle class. That's it. Well, that's all you're going to have are those two extremes. Look, if I can't get out, I have to look at New Jersey. And, maybe it's for the best. I love Long Island. I have whatever family I have is here. I like the climate here. If I can't find someplace safe to live, I would say this year I'm going to have to think about leaving. And I don't even know if that's a possibility. I don't want to get my hopes up to saying there is something in New Jersey because there may not be a similar program in New Jersey. Then I don't know what I'm going to do. I I really don't know. But I get on my hands and knees and beg to get out of here. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm pretty quiet. I don't have pets. I mean, I'm a pretty quiet guy, you know? But living here is driving me crazy. I don't deserve to have to deal with these problems anymore, you know? I just want to be safe. I want to live somewhere safe and it's close to transportation. Why is that such a hard thing to attain? It should not be like that. And I really wish some politicians out there, people would stop ignoring us and do something for us. All right? Why should we be forced out? We were here first. I've been living on Long Island all my life. I haven't lived anywhere else. Because I don't drive? Because I'm not making a white collar salary? I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, if I drove, I'd probably be able to live. The thing with Long Island is if you live way out in the sticks, like I explained to you a little while ago, you can find a place. But the problem is I don't drive, so I need to be close to the train station. I need to be close to the main train services. And I can't do that when I can find it. For that, you have that, and then you also have the fact that my program technically is only Nassau County. So if I live way out in the middle of nowhere, I don't even know if they have another program out there. You know, if they did, again, I wouldn't be able to get around. I wouldn't be able to get around, period. It would be very hard. Hard enough here, you know. People say, we'll move to the city. The city is even more money. And again, that's a different program. I don't know if the city has. The city is something, there are nice parts in New York. But right now, with what New York's going through, Bill de Blasio, I don't think it's such a good idea. And it's crowded. I'm not used to extreme crowds. I'm comfortable in Nassau County. I've lived here 80% of my life, all right? I was only living in Suffolk when I was like 1 or 2 or 3 years old, all right? I've lived almost all my life in Nassau. I like Nassau County. I happen to like it here, but I'm being forced out. And I'm being forced out because it's closing in between all these areas. There's nothing for me. There's no place for me. It's either the ghetto or white-collar Snobville, and there's nothing in between. And I'm not welcome in white-collar Snobville because these people have their noses high up in the air like this and like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't rent to you. We aren't going to rent to people that are white-collar professionals. Sorry, we can't do that. We don't feel comfortable with you around, you know? We only want to live with our own kind. How is this even legal? Somehow it is. There are no laws here. No laws. There are 2 different rules. You have the rules for the ghetto, where it's okay to have 20 or 30 illegals living in one home, and then you have the rules for the nice areas. Sorry, we can't even put in affordable housing, let alone, you know, we would never tolerate having that, but we won't even put in affordable housing. So it's acceptable in Freeport and Westbury. That's allowed. It's allowed to have 30 illegals, out-of-state plates, unlicensed cars. That's allowed. But if you go to Wantaw, well, no, we'll enforce the law here. We're only going to enforce the law for the rich, white-collar areas. We're not going to enforce the law for any other area. That's what it's becoming here. You have 2 sets of rules. These towns only enforce the zoning in the nice areas, and in the poorer areas, they just become more crappy, and they put more and more problems in. And like, well, sorry, because they're paid off by the people that hire them. What else am I supposed to think? And Trump wants to get rid of them. And Trump, he doesn't need the permission of Cuomo. He doesn't need the permission of Nassau County. The federal government needs to come in here and round these freaking illegals up. They broke the law. They're illegal. They broke the law. They come here. They commit more crimes. I'm sorry. This is why I can't be a Democrat anymore. I know my friends on the left are not going to like this. But, you know, I think you have to obey the law. And if you come here illegally, you've broken the law. All right? And you know what? I'll go one step further and say, when you come here illegally and then you turn it into where you came from, that really means you've broken the law, all right? These people don't want to become Americans. They want to live as if they did in their home country. They don't want to assimilate. It's not like legal immigrants. So, yeah, I'm going through a lot of crap right now, and I'm very scared. I really am very scared of what is going to happen next here in Westbury and what could possibly happen to me. I shouldn't have to live in this fear. And then I have the fear, I have the anxiety disorder. I have anxiety disorder. I get panic attacks, all right? I get nervous about things very easily, all right? And this is something to really be nervous about, all right? And then on top of it, I have depression. And being in a town with no life in it is so depressing. I just think this is cruel. I think it's wrong. And I certainly think it should be illegal if it's not already illegal. But nothing is happening. There's no law enforcement here. There's two rules for different people here on Long Island, and you're pretty much judged by how much money you make. And if you don't make a lot of money and you're disabled, you're pretty much treated like you're not human and that you're a pile of shit. And that's the way I feel like I'm being treated. So, I'm sorry if this went on a little longer than I thought. I wasn't really planning on making this a long video. But this town is struggling, you know, and I'll say it again, and I'll wrap it up like this. I really do wish Westbury would turn around. It would be great if Westbury would turn around. I would love for Westbury to turn around. But it just keeps getting worse. It's not getting any better. They're not coming. The people are not coming. Instead, we just have more problems coming. More problems, more illegals, more gangs. Not the kind of positive activity that places like Farmingdale, like places like Patchogue, that places like Rockville Center have. No, we're not having that. We're just turning this town more and more into a third world country. And I'm sorry if people think that's racist. You know, I think what's really racist is the fact that people that are in towns that are less than 90% white have to be forced to deal with all these illegals, to deal with the crime, deal with the debt, deal with all the problems they bring, while the towns that are over 90% white have become so expensive as to keep everybody else out. You know, I think this is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous, the two sets of laws that exist on this divided Long Island that I live in, that I love this island so much, but we're destroying the Pine Barrens, we're destroying the very fabric of Long Island and turning it into a third world country by literally dividing the population like this between the haves and the have-nots, and it just keeps getting worse. Something needs to happen. But I love Long Island, but this year is going to determine whether I stay here or I leave, and some people are going to disagree with that. My poll has, most people think I should just leave the tri-state area. Look, man, that's not happening. I love the Pine Barrens. That's the number one thing. I can't be far away from the Pine Barrens now. I don't want to live in Westchester because that's too far from the Pine. The Pine Barrens is my favorite place on earth. All right, and maybe I don't take that many videos there, but trust me, I go there at least once or twice a week, and it would either be on Long Island that I want to live or New Jersey. New Jersey has beautiful Pine Barrens, so that would, you know, at least if I wound up a place like Toms River, I have many more beautiful Pine Barrens I can go to, and it'd be much more relaxing for me. So I'm sorry if people don't agree with that, Paul. I don't agree with people said they're leaving the tri-state area. Some people suggested Texas. No way. All right. You know, it's my life. I can live obviously where I feel comfortable. But if I can't afford to live on Long Island and they force me out, and the last thing I want to do is give these snobs the victory of saying, oh, we forced out another one. I've lost 3 friends already. They've all moved away because they couldn't afford it. You know, but, you know, I hate giving them the victory of that, but in the end, I have to do what's right for me. And if that means having to leave Long Island, that means having to leave it. And I hope it doesn't come to that, but I have to prepare myself that it very well may come to that at this rate if I can't find a place soon. I really do need help, you know, and I just don't know what. Right now I'm just going out there and I'm being responding to as many rental ads as possible so I can get the hell out of here. All right, please wish me luck in this journey, and if there's any other news, I'll bring it to you, of course, but understand there may be time between videos, long time between videos, because I've got a lot of things that I have to do now, because this literally is the fight of my life. Take care.